Hello, and again, welcome to Bit Depth. I'm Santiago Ramones. Across from me is...
Griff Stafford.
How you doing, dude?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Pretty good. How do we know each other?
We have totally been in some classes together where we have not only observed each other's work, but also cracked plenty of jokes.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad to have hung out and like done some classes with you. I feel like there was like a few semesters where some people were like, I like knew mutually different people, but like I hadn't connected that like I had been in an a cappella group with Daniel, and he was like, "Do you know Griff Stafford?" I'm like, "Do I know Griff?"
Right.
And he was like, his long hair.
Right,
and I'm
right.
like, do I know Griff?
Yeah. It's like, probably.
Yeah, and then I would like see you in class, but like never like connected in my brain that was the same person.
I have that happen all the time at ACM where someone will be like, "You know Chet?" And I'm like, "No, who's Chet?" And then he's like, he's someone gives you a terrible description of like he's got hair, he's got like short hair and like he's got eyebrows and stuff, and then you're like, I don't know him. And then, like, in class tomorrow, it's like, all right, Griff and Chet are going to be partnered up together. And it's oh, that's Chet.
Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, the hair and the eyebrows.
I totally see. Yeah.
Anyways, who are you? What do you do?
I am guitar for Packing For Pluto. I play guitar, that is. I produce other people's stuff as well. I love recording, and I've done it, as early as I could in high school.
Nice.
I was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and so I am only going here really for college. But I then fell sort of for like the whole Oklahoma music scene necessarily, but like a lot of that is centered in OKC. Yeah. And so I really do feel like there's a lot of opportunities for careers here. So I sure hope that there is follow through with those opportunities and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you also do like some film stuff, right?
Oh yeah. I've shot a couple of music videos for Lone Moon, shout out to Lone Moon, and Sierra Brooke. Yeah. Shout out to her as well. Yeah. I just did them for free, but Lone Moon's is in 720, in 720p because we just kind of went out and shot it on my camcorder and then I edited it together.
Quality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, it's free. So
yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm not.
I think there's a Psycho Stick album called "Don't Bitch, It's Free," or I think it's an EP.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Psycho Stick.
Yeah, you ever heard of Psycho Stick?
No, I don't know Psycho Stick.
They're probably more well known for "Beer Is Good." It's like a metal song. It's like they make humorous metal music.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Anyways, so you mentioned that you started recording in high school. I feel like for most production people that I've known here, like people don't really get started until like the end of high school or like right after they get out of high school.
Yeah, totally. I had friends in senior year, like you're saying, like at the end of high school, I had a technology course at TTC, which was broadcast sound engineering.
Oh, okay.
And it was sort of more of the intent of like beginner certificate training over using Pro Tools. So like the first DAW I ever used was Pro Tools. Yeah. And so I was like, I can't imagine how other DAWs work.
Right.
Like, but I after senior year or during senior year, there was also a field trip we took to ACM, and whenever I saw that, I was like, there we go. Like I can still continue on and do recorded music instead of like trying to figure out some weird major at OU or UCO or
Right.
something, and then doing this all on the side. But before senior year, I had just a lot of friends who were already sort of doing stuff in the music scene in Tulsa, and like not big stuff, but enough to where I was like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Like I was always on the church like music team. Like you show up an hour early or whatever to like set up everything and do the music. And at one point, I was just me and a guitar. And that was the band that was at church. Yeah, and I had to like run my own sound. Well, not real. Like I told the guy like, "Hey, turn it up." Yeah, there you go. Hey, and then so like, and like, like you learn just that little bit of live sound and that sort of aspect. And now I run sound for weddings over at Frontline Church.
Oh, okay, cool.
Too and stuff. That's a really cool church as well. Also, it looks like a Capitol building, but it's a church. So you're always gonna like pass it whenever you're going down Broadway. And so I really had friends who invested money in like interfaces and they made beats or they were rappers.
Right.
And I never like recorded them for any projects or anything, or never recorded them like on my own accord. I was just friends with them and I would be there and stuff like that. And like back then I just kind of was like, I mean, I don't really know how to make it sound amazing or whatever. So I don't want to like, be all like, yeah, well, you should try this or whatever. Like, this would sound good, because most of the time people kind of be like, that's not really what we're looking for, though. So then like now I would I would tell them I would charge them, but I'd be like I can make your stuff sound a million times better.
Right.
Yeah, but I've always wanted to do this side, or the recording side of music as well. The live stuff is amazing, and the like creative aspects are always good, but like the technical recording aspect makes sense in my head in a way that other stuff kind of is anxiety ridden.
Well, I'll like put a flag there, because I want to go to like, so you play guitar. How long have you been playing guitar?
Since I was 10, so I guess 12 years.
Dang. Yeah. What did you start playing on? Well, first, like, what guitar did you start on? And then what songs were you playing?
Man, the first song I ever learned all the way through was Back in Black by AC/DC, because it's all chords and like one riff in the middle of it all.
Oh, yeah.
But I had a first act, one pickup, like kind of like 3/4 size Strat looking thing, and like I just learned all the songs on that. And after I had done music lessons for probably a year, I finally got an acoustic guitar.
Okay.
Like for some reason I just happened to get with like the instructor over at the place where I took lessons for guitar. I got stuck with the guy who like only does rock music.
Okay.
So he was like, he showed me everything on a Les Paul, and then like a super vintage Les Paul, and then I would be like on the first act just trying to figure out how to play C's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So then, what is the music that influences what you play? What do you listen to all the time that makes you want to go, I want to get this good at guitar?
For there's a lot of people that I like figure out the names of, because like I just for the reason of like I love their guitar playing. Like, in jazz it would be like Wes Montgomery. Like you can.
I don't know any names, so like
He's like he's one of those guys who just does like all instrumental jazz, but he'll have a full band and he's just playing a guitar.
Yeah.
Like like he's the vocals in this giant band. And I'll always learn like the names, and then like I'll ask people like if they know who it is. And it's usually kind of like, I don't know that person specifically.
Sure.
Like if it's like Paul Stanley's like total like like chord progressions and the stuff they're putting in there or whatever, and then they're like, who's Paul Stanley? And I'm like, it's the guy from Kiss. And they're like, which guy from Kiss? And they're like they're like the tongue guy. And it's like no, it's the other guy.
Yeah,
he doesn't play guitar. But I guess like to get better and to find inspiration, it's usually like Guthrie Govan. Do you know him?
Again, I don't know like hardly any names, so just like name and
I'll
then
just-
what they're known for.
I'll just say a bunch of really weird names, and see if you see if you think I'm making
Any of
them up.
those stick.
Yeah. There's Guthrie Govan, Yingwei Malmsteen.
I do know you.
Yeah. I just remembered it. Either way, I'll come back to it. The Yvette Young from Covet. Do you know her? You gotta look her up because it's revolutionary guitar playing in my mind. It's not even like a picking thing. She plays with both hands. She plays a 7-string.
Oh, I might have seen like a TED Talk thing with her. Or something.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even people like Andy McKee, like the guy who does drifting, where he like plays drums and guitar at the same time.
Oh, geez.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like a viral video.
Yeah.
And like even like his stuff like inspires me to sort of like figure out how to play riffs, like that they do, and then maybe integrate those riffs into something that I do. But that's where it always comes from, like musicianship wise. Like sometimes you have to look at like the whole band, and that'll usually be somebody like Scale the Summit or This Town Needs Guns. That's the name of the band. Yeah. I'm not just spouting.
Well, yeah,
gun control policy.
Yeah, but like either way, like you could say any sentence or combination
It's
of words and be like,
probably a band.
that's probably a band.
Yeah. I know there's a band called Sovereign Citizen. And so every time there's a video of somebody talking to a police officer saying that you can't arrest me, I'm a sovereign citizen, they get exposure.
Oh, nice.
It's good.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. We're all sovereign citizens. I don't know. There's a lot of bands that I like that really are just they're all killer musicians, and those are the bands that I'm always like excited to see, and I really want to support, and I want other people to figure out like who they are and stuff. Oh, Chon, Arc Echo, Pliny. I know it sounds like I'm making up names now.
Yeah.
Tesseract.
I do know Tesseract.
Yeah. They're coming with Pliny to Dallas.
Nice.
So
I was just in Dallas like yesterday.
What was it? What's in Dallas?
Dallas Comic Con is what I was just.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
yeah,
though.
it was great.
Yeah.
So is there? I think I asked a similar question whenever we did the band one, but is there like a level of guitar playing that you're like? That's the Valhalla of guitar playing that I hope to get to one day.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally like someone like Tosa Nabasi. He's the lead. He's the lead like in Animals as Leaders, and their music is, I mean, it's 2 8-string guitars and a drum kit.
Yeah.
And so like there's no bass because they just hit that low in their own 8 strings.
Right.
And they, I mean, like, it's jazz fusion and it's metal and it's thrashy and it's in strange alternative time signatures, and a lot of those things like always wow me more as a musician, and those are the things that I really like supporting and like giving a lot of time and money into figuring stuff out, because it's like a million people will tell you how good the last Cardi B album is. But, like, nobody is talking about the last Animals as Leaders album unless you, like, go on a forum on the internet.
Right, right.
And, you know, like, somewhere on, like, r/Animals as Leaders or something. And that's like,
if they even have a subreddit.
if they even have one,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm finding that there's a lot of bands that I wouldn't have thought had subreddits do have subreddits, and people just talking about them.
Yeah. Well, I guess sometimes like the band themselves probably is like, hey, we should start a subreddit and see if people.
Oh yeah,
What is I mean, I'm not like a super. I play guitar, but I'm not like a guitarist really.
Right.
So guitarists get real picky about tone. How do you feel about your tone? What's the gear? What's the?
I think if you touch my tone, you're gonna catch these hands.
What do you got on your board? What do you got on your rig?
My pedal board is like I'd suppose one thing that like a lot of people don't do or a lot of people do that I don't do is that I don't have any drives. I don't have any like drive pedals like overdrive or anything on my pedal board. I use the amp distortion, and I really just like switching to the amp distortion. And usually, what that means, whenever it's like, I have an Egnator half stack, right, and it's the Tweaker 6518 variable watt. So it's like you have two channels, and you can make one channel 18 watts and the other channel 65 watts.
Oh.
So you can like dial in a really crunchy amped sound and then switch using the foot switch to a super clean low watt sound.
Okay.
Like, just like that type thing.
Yeah.
So like I never feel a need to make it out of pedals and then drive the clean signal especially because it's a half stack. Like I don't have a combo amp at all. So the idea of like using pedals to make the sound is almost like not really a thing that I do. I have a compressor on my pedal board, but that's just kind of to even out harmonics, you know, like even whenever we do like recordings and stuff, I usually don't use the compressor unless it's like a clean signal that I want to have a lot of compression in it.
So you're pretty much running directly into the amp?
Kinda it'll go through like a volume pedal, and like I have a auto filter that's the micro Q, and so like I can use my wah. I don't always use my wah, but you can fake it with the micro Qtron because it's about how loud you're playing. It's with dynamics, so you can if you play harder, you can make the like the filter react to the same thing. So you know, sometimes I don't even need a wah. Sometimes I just run everything into the chorus and flanger, and then like that's the only thing that's affecting the tone once it gets to the amp. Otherwise, you know, it's just running a signal louder into the amp, into straight into the amp.
Right, but it also means that you can't really put a reverb on your chain or like a delay because it'll get super distorted on the way out through the amp.
Definitely. Well, especially with like lead tones, like where you'd really want some good reverb or a delay or something on it. That is kind of a problem. I have a fuzz, so like the fuzz can kind of like it can drive the delay, and then I can not drive the delay. It can drive the signal, and then the delay it's an analog delay, so it's really clean, and it'll be, you know, I can make it super soft and just kind of like a little bit of resonance in the tone. But otherwise, like I am kind of like what I do usually, but like in the rushed gig, I won't even like put the reverb and delay on there, or I won't even like run it through or use it at all. But like in a gig where I have like time and room to set up and everything, I take the modulation, the delay, and the reverb, and I run it through the effects loop, so that way it doesn't ever hit the tubes, and it just runs through into the speaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm investing money right now in a Lexicon rack mount. And I would just run that in through the effects loop of my actual amp. So I have some crazy good sound and then control it via foot switch.
Nice.
You know, like I've thought super hard about like what's the easiest way to just pick up stuff and take it to a gig. And that's like far easier actually than like trying to run everything and then still get my tones that I like.
Yeah. All right. So sorry if we lost everyone on just like super like guitar tone.
The guitar players are losing their minds right now.
But then everyone else is just like, what the hell are they even talking about right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But going back to the production side, because I wanted to like blend these two, how has being a guitarist and then going into production, how has your guitar playing affected how you produce, and how has your production affected your guitar playing?
In its own way, I've had friends who were like straight, like shout out to James Adams. He will love it if I said that, if I said it on this. But he made me think about like, you know, like post processing with a guitar. So like I understand now kind of things about like, it doesn't have to be the live sound. You can do like whatever you want in the studio. So like you can think about things that are going to happen after you put the signal even into the microphone. You know, like like you could put the reverb way after the fact, like on the DAW itself, or as a plug-in on the DAW itself, which in terms of like recording music is like super usable, it's super, it opens way more opportunities. Like live, like people can still put like reverbs after the fact and stuff on your guitar, like going through the speakers and stuff. But like live, I know a few different things. I know that like finding your tone live whenever you're looking for something like clean is definitely sort of like based around like what you want to do live and being able to recreate the sound. Whereas like in the studio, I think a lot of people find that like understanding like why the guitar sounds like it does, or like the need for intonation and tuning and certain woods and single coils versus humbuckers and stuff, it's all like essential to trying to sculpt the right thing you want it to sound like.
But that's also where you start losing me, because like I am not a guitarist.
Right.
I'm just like
Right.
Yeah.
But that's also part. There's always a part of the learning process. Like there's things that there's things about like composition that I'm just utterly terrible at. Like I could be a guitar tech tomorrow, but I, like if you ask me to chart something out, I'll be like, okay, this one is the G. No, that one's not the G. Dang it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you have different aspects where your skills lie. And
right. Like I find creativity sort of like doesn't have to just cease at like the composition, and it doesn't have to just cease at the production or anything like that. And you also like, there's no... I feel like the production side bleeding into the guitar side was also a lot of like even like writing songs became less about what the guitar sounds like and more of like how it all works as one in the whole thing. I think about drums differently now because of production and
start
stuff like
zooming
that.
out a little bit more.
Definitely, yeah.
And then how is like being a guitar player affected how you produce other people's stuff?
Oh, I mean, I'm super critical about making people's like be in tune, but also be like intonated. Like one time we had 3 hours here, and we had a bass player that I was recording, and he didn't, and his bass wasn't intonated, and I was like, I mean, do you have a screwdriver? And he was like, no, and I was like, what are we supposed to do here today? I was like, I mean, it's not going to sound good. Like, if you want it to sound good, I'm just saying it won't. I'll be critical only because I realize that there are, like you're saying, like some people kind of don't think about
Right.
like what exactly like why it sounds the way it does, or like why this guitar tone is perfect or whatever. And so like recording other people and the zoom out thing. And the zoom out thing with recording other people too has really been that it's like it's really good to have an outside perspective on your music, and I always look for that in our Packing for Pluto music. Is sort of an outside perspective to be like, not really like you should change up these parts, like but more of like does that drive the way we want it to? Does that transition sound good? Anything like that? So for them, like if they're asking like, is the song good? I'll be like, I mean, that's up to whoever you're looking to sell this album to.
Right.
It doesn't really matter what I think about like, oh man, I'd listen to that in my car all the time. It's like, I'm not, because I'm going to hear you say, yeah, and have to edit it a million times, like I'm going to be sick of that song by the end of this tracking, phase.
Yeah. And then whenever you start out as a musician, you're playing guitar by yourself or whatever, and you're just learning, how has that changed over time whenever you're playing with now a band and getting different influences on your stuff?
Yeah. I have like always played with a band because I feel like I've always kind of thought about that aspect of like, me, like I've always thought like the guitar recital maneuver of just kind of showing up and, playing guitar in front of people is always like is like always where people make like the music cringe on the internet and stuff, which I hate. Not all of the cringe stuff, because some of it is sort of like here and there, like kind of it's okay, that's kind of funny. But sometimes with the music one, I'm like, if that person finds their video and people are just like, oh my God, this guy is terrible, they're never gonna play music again. Yeah. Like you've ruined their opportunity to make them think that they could ever get better. And sometimes they're just kids, and it's like, of course it's bad. They're like 11 years old.
Yeah. And then that drives me to sort of a broader question with stuff you mentioned there. Did you always want to do music? Was there ever a real job in mind? I did hand quotes for the podcast.
When I was 5, I wanted to be a doctor. Yeah. Didn't work out.
Yeah.
My brother is going to be a doctor though.
Oh, okay.
So he's doing the better work. It'll always be like, seeing it'll always be like seeing two sides of a coin or something. Whenever he and I are next to each other, is you're like he looks exactly like you, but he's wearing like really classy Ralph Lauren or something, and his hair is super pumped right now. And Griff, you're wearing a professional wrestling t-shirt right
now. So like outside of like 5 years old doing music or not doing music, like has it just always been like a fast track to like, yep, this is
my parents were always like, this is a bad like influence sort of thing to say, but my parents were always like, you need to like understand that school is going to come first and then music is going to go. And I was always under the impression of like, yeah, but it's what I'm going to do. Like they were like, don't grow up and be a guitar player, like don't grow up and just be in a band. Like it's not going to work out, I promise you. And I was like, yeah, but like you could be other things and a guitar player. Right, so I was like, I'm not going to like give up and be like, I better get used to being an accountant, or something. Yeah. I know people like that too, though, is that they have, they always have like, they're really good at music because their mind can work that way and they can be creative. Like there's I know people who can write songs and original sounding songs, like stuff that's really good, and they have absolutely no intention to like perform or anything. They want sometimes they just want to record it just to have it, and like I don't have a problem with it necessarily, but for some people, I'm just saying, if you have a free weekend at some point, you should try booking a show with somebody, like hook up with somebody in the music scene and do it, because it's fun. And honestly, it's like, Guitar Center always had that weird ad where it was like, it's the best feeling in the world. And I was like, that's cheesy, but that's real. For a lot of people, it's the best feeling in the world to be able to perform and make music.
Yeah. Is it the best feeling in the world
It's
for you?
the best feeling in the world. It's the only remnants of feelings that I feel I have anymore.
Neat. Let's see. Okay. So transitioning into the dark depression of existence.
We're going head first.
What is the role of spirituality or religion in your life?
I would say that spirituality is like, it used to be huge. Like I used to integrate it into my everyday life. I tried, very difficult, very, very much so, to overcome things using sort of a spiritual idea, I suppose. I wouldn't say that right now in my life I necessarily identify as Christian, but I feel I've always kind of felt that like people have the wrong idea about Christianity. People have the wrong idea about religious organizations in general, mostly because of the people who misrepresent it.
Right.
I think are kind of is kind of the thing, and like I never feel like that's an excuse to turn off from actually listening to the people who choose to not only like figure stuff out for themselves, but also like can actually bring points to the discussion that you have and everything. It's like don't go on the internet necessarily to figure out stuff about your spirituality. Like it's a tool, but if you don't understand the personal relationships that people have within that community, I don't feel like you'll fully get or grasp the concept of like what that religion is, what that is. Like I had friends in high school who would say I'm a Buddhist, and I would be like, what makes you a Buddhist? I was like, what do you know about Buddhism? Like, I was only critical about it because I just kind of thought I was like, no, not like you can't be, but like you have to you have to prove it to me that you actually believe the things that you do.
Right.
Not like I do that with other people like who are confident in their faith, but people who I feel, like it was just one day. One day my friend came up to me and said, guess what? I'm a Buddhist. And I was like, I don't doubt that you've thought about it, but have you ever talked to anybody about it? Like, do you know what to do day to day to change your life whenever you consider yourself a Buddhist or Christian or a Muslim or anything? Do you know how to integrate your own life into that culture? And I've always felt not that I stood out from it, but that I didn't really like grasp it, or not grasp, but like feel it the way that other people felt it and the way that other people understood it and everything.
Yeah. But I mean, earlier you said you've been involved in church stuff, and so like you've been involved in the church and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So how has that experience been for you spiritually? How's that sort of developed how you cultivate interpersonal relationships in a religious setting?
Oh, I mean, I think that the part nobody ever thinks about considering whenever you're on Reddit, just hammering away at keys, trying to figure out the meaning of the universe or whatever, is that nobody ever considers the community that comes with being integrated into Christianity or the church, especially. I've never felt like when being in a church that anybody was forcing something down my throat. But at the same time, I've seen definitely sermons and certain pastors that all do have that aspect of like this is how you believe, this is what it says, there is no interpretation of it. And then it's and like, though, and with those with my church or whatever, I've always felt that it was like, we like everybody has questions, but like that's why you keep asking about it. You keep coming here, keep giving your time to like get to know other people and make friends and all that kind of stuff. I feel like that's like way more important to the Christian aspect, to the church aspect in general, is building a sense of community.
It's more of a experience and a process rather than like an answer.
Oh yeah. If I can get remotely just a little bit dark, there's people who make terroristic threats to churches. Not real. I don't think because they're attacking Christianity by doing that. I don't think that they're trying to stop somebody from believing what they believe. I think that they understand it as a community that then they can infiltrate. That you thought you were safe here. You thought that this was your area of where like you could come to find clear-mindedness within the world, and I'm going to take that away from you. Like that. Like I feel like that. I feel like that happens all the time. Like whenever you're just reading news stories about somebody opening fire on a church or something.
So, how do you feel is like what would make you more comfortable being in church that rather than having the like, no, this is the way that it has to be or something? What makes you feel more welcome in a community?
It's a good question. Maybe just not only like similar interests, but like just like good discussions, good people surrounding the area that like you can connect with their families as well as connect with like them as a person. Whenever you're like in Sunday school and stuff, I feel like you'd connect with everybody. It's like your parents will be like, yeah, that's so and so's parents, and then you're like, I know him. It's like the ACM thing. I know him. I know that guy. But I feel like not only getting to know people, but like choosing to open yourself to somebody else who you don't know very well, like in a setting where everybody is inclined to feel clear-mindedness is always a good thing. Is a good sense of community to me. Is definitely a good attraction to coming to church. Whenever I run sound at Frontline, I always like to shake hands and crack jokes with the people who I'm also working with, who like are running lights or the music and stuff. I don't run the music. I don't always like click play on Spotify. I just kind of turn up the faders. But like you can pay me to turn up faders. It's half of what I do. I really, I don't know. I feel like a sense, not only a sense of community, but a sense of like going to a place where people will remember your name and care about you and stuff like that. Like without thinking about it, is very attractive within a church community. Whereas you have things where it's like, we're going to go out and protest in the name of Christ. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make me think that you guys know what you're talking about. It just makes me think that you guys are the loudest people in the room, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, have you been involved in the church like pretty much your entire life?
Yeah, for the most part.
Growing up in Oklahoma, it's like hard not to.
Yeah. There's I read a thing. I think it was on the internet. It might have been like in Tulsa World or something, but they said that the reason that there's a lot of churches in Oklahoma is because like way back before they had cars, they would set up plots for schools and churches to be within walking distance if it snowed, because they knew how bad the weather was, like going in and out. So they were like, you have to be close enough to walk to a school or church to, you know, so that way you don't have to drive or you don't have to use any kind of transportation or whatever. And I was like, you know, that makes a lot of sense, because you will go 2 miles and see 4 churches.
Oh yeah.
Like, but yeah, I feel like I've always been involved because you know, again, I feel like I understand that it's a community. And it's a community of people that you kind of get more attached to rather than like work. You know, like I've done plenty of service industry jobs, and I certainly do not feel like there's like a community working there as there is a community working at a church, you know?
Right, yeah. Well, and it also just depends what it is, because then if you're like competing with each other, it's like you're definitely not in a community.
Yeah. Then you're definitely not helping each other out.
Yeah.
Like while you're, yeah.
But then you also gotta like have, I mean, I drive hard and fast lines in beliefs and where those things lie, and so let me just throw the good old evergreen. First of all, God ?
You know, I'm not a guy who's like, I'm not a guy who's going to be like, there is no God. You need to get over yourself. We are all children or whatever. Like, I'm more of, I really feel more like if there is, but that there is, does that like what is that to us in our everyday life? To me, it's like if the idea of God is a force that is a force that maneuvers all things, like, you know, tiny intricate pieces in a machine, and like, do my actions change the results of the you know, spiritual connection that the earth has to it? I mean, like, you know, I feel like that is such a big question that that it's like it's worth at least putting a bookmark in, thinking about, not jumping to ideas, not jumping to your straight ideas, you know.
And it's harder like to answer that question if you don't first define like what is your definition of God.
Exactly. and like my definition of God is like is the idea that it's like God is I cannot remember what philosopher it is, but it's in a book that we read for philosophy.
Okay.
And it's and he said God is God. You believe that God is the rock, or you believe that God is the rock and is both beyond the rock. Like you know what I mean? Like the idea that like we are part of God, and God is us. It's everything that we do and perceive and have, and the everything that we consider life, and everything that's defined to us as what we are. And then there's the idea that God is like God is so beyond it that he keep saying he, and I don't want to say he.
Right.
But that God,
they.
they.
Z.
That's a crazy one. That's getting that's getting like deep explanation as if you said they. But that like God is beyond the rock to me is the idea that like God is so far surpassed the conscious level that humans have that we don't even get it. Like like we don't even get what it means to look at God to look at God and not see the reflection of ourselves. Like not think about how it only works for a human to see God and perceive God rather than like how God perceives God.
Yeah.
I always kind of think of it as like, I think of God as sort of like, you're gonna get really hippy dippy.
Please do.
Yeah, it'll be like it's just like I think of God as like sort of like waves, sort of hitting you in the center of the universe type thing. It's like, the idea of like if the universe is an ocean, then you're a wave, kind of thing is like you're part of that universe affecting and happening and stuff. So like the actions of God, I feel like are like the waves being created and friction and movement and things happening and everything is, the inevitable death of God, I feel would be no friction, would be no flame, no movement of molecules that progresses change. You would cease change. It would all be normal. It would all be normalized. It would all be the epitome of nothing changing. And if that's the case, then we certainly aren't at the level of understanding God because it changes every day of like what we perceive as God, what we understand as God, what we research, what we find like through science, what we find through spiritual connections or oligarchies and stuff like that. People are figuring out new things every day about how and where we perceive God. Yeah, I feel.
Shit like that is why I like asking the question.
Right, definitely.
I like that a lot. So then talking about the ocean and how you're a part in the thing, the next evergreen question is a free will question mark.
That was always my hard one in philosophy as well. Was just like because I was like, I mean, at some point you're just almost like, I mean, I don't know, but
and you can say that. You can say I don't know. Please, like if you don't, then don't like.
Right. I've thought about it certainly of just like part of me always has that idea of it's real, like things happening or like the will to change something in your life, I think relies in you so heavily that people can give that to God because they think that it's beyond themselves to change things in their life. I feel like as far as like free will and like being able to do what you. Man, I don't know. Like I really like listening to other people talk about it. Where like George Carlin has a joke that I always remember, and it's about prayer, and it's if you pray for something and you get it, it'll always be God's will for you to have had it. But if you pray for something and you don't get it, then you don't then you shouldn't really fret because you were never meant to have it and something better is going to come anyway. So his point is, what is the point of praying for anything? He's like, it's just going to happen. Like the idea of free will in that aspect is like, it's just going to happen whatever, it's supposed to happen anyway, so you should just stop worrying about it and stop trying to change God's will, is the thing I always think about whenever I think about that question.
It's always great whenever comedians like drop a giant like
Yeah.
existential bomb in your head.
Yeah. Oh man, like you listen to anything by Mark Maron and you're like, I guess he has a point. You're like, that definitely made me think.
Yeah. So do you have an answer to the free will, or is it more of a
it'll be a wish. Sure. It'll be a wishy-washy answer, but I guess we do things, I guess, only because of the things that happen within our lives already. I guess is the thing I think. You get down to anything really. I feel like I book shows with certain venues in different ways only because. Not because I feel like it's sort of like a destined fact for me to do so, but because I did it, because like I put in effort to do that do that thing, and therefore like that's why it happens. Sure. I don't really put that side of will on like God, or like in my case it's like sort of like more of like a universe type thing. It's like I don't put that on the shoulders of the universe to say, why did you let this happen, or like what happened here or whatever. I think it's that constant question of like whenever you're a kid and you have that question of like, why do bad things happen to good people? I think it's because like, everybody thinks that they're doing the best thing and that they should be rewarded for it. And that's just not how it works. Like, it's just not how it happens in my mind is that I can't think that like there is an ultimate good within, within actions of human beings type thing. Like everyone has to benefit from the thing happening, I feel, for it to actually make waves and progress.
Speaking of waves and progress and such,
we're gonna keep getting back to this wave.
Oh
thing.
No, it's a good metaphor to work off of. But you talked about how like the final death is whenever there's no more change. Why is change so important?
I guess because like on a molecular level, change is friction. It's the change would be like. Like why the lights come on, or like how we're recording this new laptop right now or something. But like, change can also be, neural transmitters in your brain, connecting in ways that they didn't before, or things like, or even just
movement.
or even just reacting. All movement is sort of like its own change. Is sort of its own friction. So like anything like that is anything within staying conscious, like choosing to progress, choosing to always think, choosing to always think more is really like the thing of they're playing Dire Straits down the hall, so I keep wanting to listen to it. One more. Ask me the thing one more time, just so I remember.
What is the importance of change?
Right. The importance.
Darn you, Dire Straits.
This. I love that song. The importance, I guess, of change is more of it's the only thing that kind of creates anything. It's the only thing that kind of manifests anything at all into the universe. And like that could be an idea, that could be a thought that somebody had and stuff. And I think like saying that it's good, or saying that, or like people always talk about like saying that it's like good chaotic or like bad chaotic and stuff like that. Like it'll be that change, I guess. Like it'll like, the importance of it is that it'll be there at all. I think is kind of like sort of like a pretty existential way to look at it, but like at the same time, it's like you doing anything or thinking about stuff in general is change, is a difference made within the universe than it was a previous millisecond before, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I always like to talk about morality and such.
Yeah.
So you kind of mentioned how like people always thinking that what they're doing is the right thing, but it's kind of more what works for everyone. So I'm making a long walk to a simple question. How does one be good?
Man.
Be a man? That's
no. I'm not getting thrown under the bus for this one.
I'm kidding.
Just
bunt it. Just bunt it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I have to bunt that one. I guess like it was what makes somebody good.
Yeah. How do you be good?
I guess really like. I would say as a socialist, communist scum that like whatever is best for really the most amount of people that it can serve.
Utilitarianism.
Yeah, exactly. Would definitely be in my book the good option. You know, the option to help, the option to progress seems like the best option to me. In any sense, if you were trying to talk to somebody about their spirituality, like we're doing now, like it would would the good decision be to progress the conversation and keep me going, or would the good decision be to tell me that I'm wrong?
Right.
You know, like that would be a crazy podcast.
Oh yeah,
I'd love it.
No. It's I mean, we can do that later.
It's like
I'm
loud and right at each other, and they put a pane glass wall in between us.
So, greatest good, greatest number. But then what is good? And, you know, because to a narcissist, good is just like, oh, it's good for you to benefit me, and it's good for me to benefit me. So everyone should just benefit me.
Exactly.
So what is good?
That is like the hard part that I always think about too, is that like the part I think about more often than not is that I like you know, people never want to talk about it. People always have the idea, I think, that like they're the hero in their own story. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like people like the Westboro Baptist Church and stuff, I feel like they believe what they're saying.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're being, obligatory. I don't think that they're being incorrect or, to be honest,
or intentionally incorrect.
Incorrect. Yeah. I think that they're quoting scripture. And even their reason for it is the idea that if you do not, you know, I think it's 1 James or something, is that like if you don't inform somebody that they're sinning, then that in turn is a sin.
Yeah.
So they themselves kind of stay under this own bar that it's like, it's good what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm trying at all costs to communicate with you that somehow in this weird religious mathematics that the soldiers' funerals are connected.
Yeah.
To gay marriage. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I certainly don't believe it, but I think they believe it. I think they think they're doing a good thing. I think that like if there were like this like really crude president who is like super like,
if it were that way,
if it were ever like this like crude president who like talks bad about women and then says like I love women. It's the only like nobody's a bigger feminist than me and stuff. And he's like I love world peace and I love helping people and stuff. And then he does absolutely nothing to help that. Yeah. Like if that were to
it would be pretty bad.
Happen, it would be a terrible, terrible mistake on the nation's part. However, I do feel that person and everybody who voted for that person, if that were to happen, believes that
Yes.
that was the choice. That was what they wanted to do. And that was what they felt was correct and right at the time. You know, you couldn't have convinced somebody that the other candidate, whomever that might be, was a better choice, because in their mind, they're like, no, that's not true. Like, you're wrong, you know? And, yeah.
So by that logic, there's not really a mustache twirling devil guy going like, oh, I'm gonna do this because it's going to be really bad. Like,
Right.
there is no like pinnacle of evil. It's just
Yeah.
someone going like, I think this is the right thing to do.
My mustache is kind of weak, so I'll twiddle the beard.
Beard
Yeah,
twirling.
yeah.
So then what is, I mean, we just tried to define good, so then what is evil then?
Dun, dun. I guess that's kind of the other thing too, is that, like, you know, if everybody's a hero in their own story, then who is the villain in your story?
Yeah.
You know, is the thing I always think. Or, like, is it like a comic book where, like, you're the hero and you always have a new bad guy to fight every week,
just
or
hordes
something?
of villains.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, I think, is that, like, if you live your life that way, of thinking that there is a bad guy out there, like trying to kick your feet out from underneath you every chance that you get to climb a new step in your life, I feel like you may just figure out that might just be you. Like, you know, in your own way, it's like the way how you define something bad happening would be the thing that you think is a bad decision to make within that same realm. However, if there were a candidate in which that he did decisions that were completely out of the way bad in my mind, I would say that like you know, in the opposite of what I felt was the good decision, the bad decision then would be to benefit only those of a selective few.
Yeah. It's a good thing that it is not that way. But
Right.
if there were a candidate
Right.
that way,
You know,
it would be very bad.
Thank goodness that we that we're so ironclad tight in our government system today.
It's great.
It's great. I love it. It's the best. It's the best ever. It's so good. It's the best.
It's the goodest.
It's the goodest.
So what can you do? What can we do to, in our small way, to try to make more good for more people?
You know what, like, some of my hippy dippy friends would say? It's just some, like, broad statement, like, spread the love. You know, it'd just be like, pretend that love is butter and then spread it. Like, spread it on toast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is still an effective metaphor.
Of course. I even said, like, I was like, you should write a song called Spread the Love, and the music video is just you with a tub of margarine that says love and then there's a bunch of pieces of toast. And for a good 6-minute song, you're just looking dead into the camera. And
no rhythm or cuts or anything. Just...
You're not singing along. I guess, like, finding enough good within yourself, I think, will sort of be the way to communicate good with others, and then sort of like see that good be passed on to other people and everything. It's what's that credit card commercial or something where somebody's like, spread the love, Citibank, and then you're like, that can't be right.
Right. Yeah, spreading the love.
Yeah.
And then do these concepts make their way into your musical life, into your everyday life?
You like any song that is not about like an emo ballad about relationships is some existential bullcrap. You know, because I think I have a lot of influence in like songwriting and sort of like sculpting ideas from very psychedelic music. You know, there's like like Grateful Dead will like even they way back in the day were would say things like what a long strange trip it's been, or oh boy, there's a lot. I'm gonna come up with them, but in Ripple, there's a song Ripple, and it goes and it's like what is it?
Whenever you're quoting songs, you gotta like run through the entire song in your head.
Ripple in still water. It's like a whole thing about like if I knew the way, I would take you home. It's all about you have to figure things out for yourself along the way, and sort of like a broad journey. And like I feel like that could translate into anything, but if you wanted to put it into music context, it's like it's not like it's not about the destination, it's about the journey type thing, and like you'll never reach the point that you want to be at.
It's about the journey. That's why 1-5-6-4 is the chord progression that everyone uses.
Right, exactly.
It's about the journey.
It's about feeling.
Don't stop believing.
It's about feeling those chords and integrating them into every song that you write. I learned that song on guitar whenever Journey was like they had the Journey's Greatest Hits album, and it was like #1 on iTunes, and you're like, why are all of these kids in 2007 just recently getting into Journey? And then it's like, because they only like one song.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Last question I have, which you pretty much already answered, but I need to ask it anyways. What advice do you have for people in general?
Don't sweat the small stuff. I know that I have had plenty of panic attacks to know that like it will pass. And like, the thing that people will immediately jump back with is like, what about the stuff that doesn't pass, Griff? And in my mind, it's sort of that same thing of like, no matter what it is, you can't stop I'm connecting it. You can't stop the waves of the universe hitting and falling on you. It would be like trying to stop a wave with your body and you alone. It'll hit you. It'll go past you. It'll wade. It'll come back into the ocean, and it'll create a new wave that's going to hit something else. But no matter what, there's nothing that you can really do about things coming at you. You can only sort of like find the things in your life that will put you on the journey that you want to go, that you want to excel in.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
No.
Griff, thank you for doing this with me.
Of course. I love it. I love these discussions.
Where can we find you and your things?
Feel free to hit me up, Griff Stafford, on Facebook, but feel free more to hit up Packing For Pluto at packingforplutomusic.com, or the Facebook page, Packing For Pluto. We are going to be releasing stuff soon, but we are also getting a tour planned with another band, Magic Bunchbox.
Okay.
Yeah, and they check them out as well. They are very. I mean, like, I haven't told them, but I'll shout it out now. Is that like they're way better than us? Like, we're good musicians, and we like the show that we put on, and we have a good, confident sound. They are better musicians than us and have way more confidence in their sound.
Well, I'm excited. Packing For Pluto makes good music. Listen to that mess. Yeah, and then like Twitter or something.
Twitter. We have Twitter. We have Instagram. I always kind of I'm not the one in charge of those two, so I never really think about plugging them.
Oh yeah, that's Alex's job.
Yeah, Alex's Twitter and Instagram, and I'm Facebook, and then we're all the email. But like Facebook, you can make like events and stuff. Yeah. So at the same time, like I'm trying to And like nobody's on Facebook. Like a lot of people will,
especially lately now.
Yeah, lately like nobody's on Facebook. Not like they don't have a Facebook, but like it's so hard to connect with certain people through Facebook, you know. Like and the
Unless
people who
you're
have,
sliding into DMs.
unless you're trying to really slide into somebody's DMs. It's like they send a thing where it's like, this person wants to connect with you, and I'm like, that's a creepy way to say they sent me a message.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Zuck?
Anyways, again, thank you for doing this with me. I'm
course.
Santiago Ramones.
I'm Griff Stafford.
You can find everything that I do on my website, santiagoramones.com. I make music that you can listen to and download. It's not on Spotify because I'm a poor person. But you can download it like it's 2005 or something. But you can also, I guess, stream it on Bandcamp. And if the Bandcamp app didn't suck, then I guess more people would actually use that. But I do have music on Bandcamp and on SoundCloud. But that's all my ambient stuff. But I make music. I also have this podcast, which you can leave reviews on. You can leave reviews on the Apple Podcasts app, and you can comment on the website or on YouTube or wherever it is that you listen to it, on Stitcher. I don't know anyone who actually listens to podcasts on Stitcher.
I have always heard other podcasts mention that they're on Stitcher,
Stitcher.
And sometimes, or like the first time I heard of Stitcher was through a podcast saying that they do Stitcher, and I was what is that?
Yeah, but it is BitDepth is on Stitcher.
It's on there.
Yeah. It's on Stitcher. I don't have to listen through YouTube anymore. Oh, great.
They just click off immediately and go find it.
It's
now.
always been on Stitcher.
Start the podcast over.
I'll be here. I was in my podcast with my 3 things. They shape my life philosophy. Those 3 things are: love never fails. It's going to be okay. I might be wrong.